Players of the game on offense, Brett Rippon. Defense was Chancellor James. Offensive line was Travis Averill. D-line was David Moa. And the special teams hard hat award winners, Nikolai Pittman and Brock Barr, because those two guys, as we mentioned before, Nikolai got his first snaps in the game and did a nice job. We were very fortunate that we had a few touchdowns in there. He could get some more reps in the game at snapping. And then Brock Barr, I thought, did a great job just stepping up. And meant what I said, he probably had the most pressure on him all week long because hadn't done it and worked on it. And when you go out there, that's the last thing you want to do is not have a good snap, especially the way Sean's been punting. He's done a really good job there. And so special teams, I thought we're fairly good, winning the field position battle, and Rasa getting his field goals in there and helping us in that category. But on to this week, UNLV, a very good team, 4-6. Tony Sanchez, head coach, and the guys played a very tough game against Wyoming. And 3 overtime game. I was a little bit surprised there wasn't more plays in the game. You think about a 3 overtime game, you're expecting 100+ plays, and there was 60-something in there. So their defense played well. They ran the ball. Their quarterback did a nice job, and certainly one of their best performances of the entire year. And we've had a chance to play them last year, so those players that returned from last season, they're a better football team. You can see that. They've improved. The guys we played against last year certainly have made strides, but so has our team. So these are 2 good football teams getting ready to play on Friday. So a short week for both of us, and really it's just about going back to our preparation. It is senior week. I know that's a topic of conversation, and with the group of guys that we have, certainly excited for them to go play and have a great evening, and keep the focus on our preparation throughout the week and not just that. But it'll be an emotional evening. It always is when your seniors kind of thinking about playing their last game out there, and I'm sure it'll hit them as they run out there, and then you flip the switch, you go back to playing, and we got to go finish out a ball game and try to find a way to win. So with that, open up for questions.
When you first got here, a lot of these seniors were just wrapping up either their freshman or redshirt freshman seasons, and I was kind of curious, what's your lasting memory or maybe image of this class and these guys?
Yeah, well, this group, with the coaching change and all that, and being young players at the time, I think they were just ready to have a successful season. All right, we got here, and I think guys like Ben Weaver, Thomas Spurbeck, we didn't know anything about them at the time, but those guys obviously turned out to be really good players, and a lot of these other seniors as well, Sam McCaskill, and I think have done a great job of buying into what we're doing and the blue collar mentality and working hard and what it takes and what it means to be a Bronco and just all those things that you talk about off the football field. They've all done a great job, and haven't had any issues with those guys. They've taken care of business in the classroom. These guys have been ambassadors of the program, and now at this point they've done a lot for this program. They played very well, and a guy like Thomas Spurbeck, it's you see him go run out there, and he's meant a lot to this program, and like we said before, these guys represent what I think Boise State's all about. So their mission is to finish out their season the right way, but they're also trying to leave this place better than they found it, and that's kind of what I take from them. They take a lot of pride in that. I think there's more to this experience than just going out there and playing, and they've certainly shown that with just the way they represent themselves.
I guess similar question, but you do look at what they've overcome since they've been here, and after with the rough season the first year, and then last year obviously still losing 4 games, and they needed to win 11 this year to keep that streak of 40 going, and now you're at least in a chance where you still have a chance to do that. What does it say about this group that with what they've overcome, that they're still in a position here to leave a pretty strong lasting memory on this
yeah. Well, I think you said it. I don't know any of those numbers for the season. That's probably the best thing about the class. Those guys don't bring that stuff up. They're very focused. I think from the 2 seasons that we've had together and the way we've operated one year versus the next, and what it takes, what the focus really is, what really matters. I think we have really good leaders on this team in this senior class. That's one of the probably the biggest thing that stands out. You don't always have that. You always have seniors. You don't always have great leaders as seniors. Good players because they have experience, but these guys, they're not only good players, but they're very good leaders. I think they take care of the young guys. They take care of their classwork. So, as far as just having a class that you can go out there and coach and you have a whole lot of fun with, this is the group. And we're certainly excited for them to finish this thing out. But we haven't really talked about that. They know what's coming up. We just talked about UNLV. That's really the focus this week. And those guys understand it. When it's all said and done, the season's over, we'll go back and reminisce and probably have more stories and be able to talk about that. But this isn't the week to do it. This is the week to stay focused. It's the week to go out there and prepare. It's a short week, which doesn't make it any easier. And then, when that moment comes up, they run out there. Hey, embrace it like we do everywhere else we go play, even at home. Don't take it for granted. Embrace the moment, enjoy it. Your family's going to be there. All right, take a minute to think about your accomplishments, be proud of it, and then let's go play.
As an offensive coach, when you look at UNLV, what stands out about their offense? They've gone through 3 quarterbacks this year. They're losing their top receiver. They have a ton of guys who run the ball. How do you think they're able to kind of keep what enables them to be able to be effective offensively despite the losses they've had?
Yeah, well, they've been really effective in the red zone. That's one thing. Very good red zone offense. You look at I think they're 14th in the country in red zone offense. So they've been very efficient that way. We have to do a great job when they do get in the red zone. They're going to move the ball. Their quarterbacks, I haven't seen every game and why the quarterback has changed and all that. But I know this, they know how to game plan. They seem to have a plan for each opponent. And their guys do make plays. And is it Boyd? Boyd who was hurt. He's a really good football player. He showed tremendous toughness in that game. I don't know how many plays, maybe 14 plays after he broke his arm that he played in that game. That's impressive. The guy's obviously a very good player, but he showed tremendous toughness, and they were battling in a game there. They were able to win. So I think it's a very tough football team. And I think offensively they find ways to move the football, and they do have some creative ways of doing it with using their quarterback. And like we've seen before, these guys in this league, they can extend plays with their feet, and you got to be able to cover too, because it's not like they can't throw it. So I think they've just gotten into some pretty good rhythms on the offensive side. Now I don't know, why so much of the quarterback changing and all that, but that's just been part of their process throughout the season.
A Heisman Trophy question. Donnell Pumphrey's getting some bump for the Heisman Trophy out of San Diego State. Boise State's had a lot of, guys mentioned Ian in his sophomore year and Kellen his junior and senior years, the 3 running backs in a row. How do you feel about pushing a guy for the Heisman Trophy? Would you push somebody for the Heisman Trophy? You seem to have 2 worthy candidates now. If they're coming back next year to at least get their stats out there. How do you feel about that? Do you feel it's a detraction from the team?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. When we had Kellen, he had opportunities for that, obviously, and they were legit. And he put himself in a position there. I think every coach could say something about players that have the type of numbers like some of our guys do. Certainly Pumphrey's, that guy's played really well. He's a really good football player, and he's put up numbers. He continues to do that. Guys on this football team have done that as well. I think it's just a matter of right now. I think it's still you got to finish. You still have to go play games and see where you end up. So as far as focusing on that, we wouldn't do that right now. I certainly think that guys in our system have put themselves in a position to be recognized for that. And their names have been mentioned, but that's a hard one to say that we're going to focus on it, and unless we're getting some more traction on it. We do things, and not as coaches, but I know the university does when guys are in those positions to try to obviously help them. That's something big for the program when you have a guy mentioned in the Heisman, and that becomes part of your season. But the players and coaches, that's not the focus.